Welcome back, Foxboro Rush. George Balekji, Travis Thomas. All right, Travis, let's get into some QB talk. Your boy, Derek Carr, calling it a career.
I know, man.
Drafted in 2014. Just can't do it. Shoulder undergoing off-season surgery. Has a degenerative condition in his rotator cuff as well. Needs labrum surgery. It's all good, man. I am surprisingly not that critical of Derek Carr.
It's not your boy, though.
No,
I
that was
my
your
wagon.
boy.
I was stupid.
You were like MVP talk with him.
Can I defend myself?
Go.
Now that it's the end of his career?
He had the ability.
Yeah, thank you. So here's why I gave him a pass originally. You were with the Raiders for most of your career. The Raiders are a mess. And he made them not so much a mess. I mean, he didn't make them great. It's not like he won a Super Bowl here. But at the same time, he was the least of their problems. I mean, there was one season he was third in MVP voting. We saw him as a Pro Bowler. Like, I thought he could walk and chew bubblegum at the same time as a Raiders quarterback. That deserves an award in and of itself. But here's where I made the mistake. I thought when the Saints came calling, that roster was really good still. They were on the heels of losing Drew Brees and Sean Payton. So the window, although closing, it was still eked open a little bit in terms of being relevant or a playoff team. I knew they wouldn't be Super Bowl with them, but I thought Carr would go there and have some success, George. I was wrong because, I mean, he got there. He never lived up to the hype. He was hurt pretty much constantly, and that's not even a good division. Like the NFC South, bro, you should be able to gut this out and get this team into the playoffs. Never was able to do it. Never won a playoff game in his career. He went out with a whimper. I'm sorry. And I understand, and you laid it out, degenerative shoulder. Like, this is serious stuff. But if I'm Derek Carr with my legacy on the line here, being of how I just talked about him as a fan of his, and it's not a glowing legacy, I think I would have missed this season, had the surgery, missed this season, recovered, and then see what I had left in the tank. A guy who he replaced by the name of Drew Brees was told, you'll never play football again. You have degenerative issues in the shoulder. He went on to go to New Orleans and win a Super Bowl and be one of the greatest of all time. So I don't like that Derek Carr has really called it a career, but it's his health, it's his career. I got to respect it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it affected his legacy. There is no legacy now. You're just a guy that played in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, right now is top 25 in career passing yards and passing touchdowns. But he'll be forgotten in the ether of NFL history.
That's right.
You mentioned the no playoff wins, but he took the Raiders to the first playoff appearance since 2002 when he took them to the postseason in 2016.
Sure.
Wasn't back till 21. But this is a guy that never had that elite number one receiver. He had Devontae Adams, his college teammate. He had the idea of an Antonio Brown until Antonio Brown did everything in his power to mess that up. And that was on AB. That wasn't because he didn't want to play with Derek Carr. My thing with him is that he always had the makings of a franchise quarterback. You had no problem, unless you had a guy with the last name of Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Brady, those types of players. You would take Derek Carr to be your franchise quarterback.
Serviceable.
It was, as you said it, he was with the Raiders, who have still been a lost franchise, and we'll see if they can find credibility now with the changes they made. And then when he got to the Saints, they were trying to figure out life, not just post Drew Brees, post Sean Payton as well, with no draft picks either. So that's where there are guys that can succeed because of. There are guys that can succeed in spite of.
Yes.
Derek Carr needed a lot to go around him. He had the ability you would take for a franchise quarterback.
And we see a lot of quarterbacks in this. I know we're going to talk about some of them, but we see a lot of quarterbacks in this league with what you just described. I mean, Kirk Cousins comes to mind. Dak Prescott's another one where it's like, okay, you can have some decent stats. You're clearly a serviceable, franchise player, quarterback. But in the end, can I really win with you? Probably not. Even if everything's perfect and you have all those things that you said, top defense, a top wideout, a great coach, maybe you still can't win with them. I mean, we saw that in Jimmy Garoppolo, who we'll talk about as well. But there have been quarterbacks like a Derek Carr who have had everything go right, and they still don't get it done. I think Derek Carr falls into that category. I don't know if anyone's ever going to remember him and remember the good things that he did. It's always going to be, he was okay, but he didn't win. He didn't win anything.
Exactly.
That is his legacy.
End of the day, it's rings or playoff success, being the big moment, and he didn't really shine through.
That's it.
All right, let's go through some quick would you rathers.
Okay, let's do this.
So would you rather?
All right.
Let's do career. Would you rather have the career of Derek Carr or Blake Bortles? I start with Bortles because that was the first quarterback taken in the same draft class as Derek Carr.
Who cares? Blake Bortles sucks. I don't think Derek Carr ever sucked. I don't think he was great.
But he never sucked.
Blake Bortles sucks.
Derek Carr, Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel
Second
was
quarterback
drunk,
in that draft.
so I'll take Derek Carr. I mean, I prefer my quarterback sober. Thanks.
Most Browns thing ever is taking Johnny Manziel.
So Browns.
Derek Carr or Teddy Bridgewater?
Okay, this is more comparable. I would still take Carr, but I did like Teddy Bridgewater's career.
Yeah.
I think he had a really good career, but really he was a career backup, if we're being honest. Derek Carr was your starting quarterback. I like Teddy, but I'll go Derek Carr here.
Teddy Bridgewater was that guy when he was with Minnesota too. He was never challenged to be the starter. Everyone loved him in that building. And when he went down with the injury, not just the severity of it, but that entire, franchise was shook just because they knew what Teddy went down with and how good of a guy he was something that they're going to miss. But Derek Carr, same thing, like great locker room guy. Again, being a franchise quarterback is more than what you do on the field, but how you handle yourself off of it. Teddy Bridgewater, Derek Carr did everything right when they were the face of the franchise off the field. I would take Derek Carr because of ability and all of that.
No problem.
And that's even with a healthy Teddy Bridgewater.
No problem there.
Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh, this is a really good comp. Garoppolo, at least I've seen in playoff games. QB1 in a Super Bowl.
Made it to a Super Bowl, yeah.
Although, I'm not bitter or anything. I didn't lose money. Jimmy Garoppolo missed Emmanuel Sanders wide open. If he makes that throw, Niners win that Super Bowl. That was the Chiefs, I think. He wins that Super Bowl, and he's going to Disney World, and he's a superstar. With that face, are you kidding? He's a superstar to the highest order. I would go Derek Carr, even though I didn't see Derek Carr in the same sort of situations, playoff games, Super Bowls, things of this nature. And I did see Garoppolo. What I saw from Garoppolo, I hated on those stages, so I'll go Derek Carr.
I would go Derek Carr, too. I mean, Jimmy G also got the bag, $151 million in career earnings.
They both got the bag.
And that's the best thing to point out. Like, Jimmy G was one pass away from having such a different legacy all around.
His whole career changes.
Right?
One pass.
But Jimmy G stinks. That's the guy that, again, is he a franchise quarterback? And he simply isn't.
No, he's not.
He was usurped. No problem in San Francisco.
That's right.
He was traded away by the Patriots. Not a no problem, but that was Bill being Bill.
Yeah.
And all of that. I would take Derek Carr over Jimmy Garoppolo. All right, here's a good one.
You mean Bill's judgment isn't great?
His evaluation of talent on the offensive side of the ball.
We're not talking about this. Next.
Dak Prescott or
You saw
Derek
what I
Carr?
did there.
I like
you caught that one. I mean the same. Am I wrong? Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same.
Okay.
You can't say this, I can. Derek Carr is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is Derek Carr, only Dak Prescott is more my complexion. They're the same guy. Look in the mirror, okay? This is a push. What's the difference? They're both empty calories in the regular season. You get all the stats, and then you don't win anything. The same guy.
I'd take Dak over Derek Carr.
Why?
It's really splitting hairs on this.
They're the same person.
Dak consistently is at MVP level when he's played. Once he went down with that ankle injury, he hasn't been the same. And again, that's a guy, bad situation. Now, if you give Derek Carr, it's the Cowboys, man, no matter who, because you have old man Jara running the shots. Like, you're going to falter. Give me Dak on that. I would take Dak over Derek Carr.
They are twins.
They are, pretty much.
They're twins.
Dak, though, when this current contract is done, almost $500 million on-field earnings alone.
God, their bank accounts ain't the same.
I would if I'm picking who I'd be, I'd rather be Dak because as much as you have that stank around you past your career of just being a loser and being a Cowboy,
Cowboys.
he can do whatever he wants.
Good point.
All right, Andy Dalton or Derek Carr.
Did Dalton win any playoff games? He went to so many.
Good
I don't
question.
know.
Let me find it.
I could be wrong. I don't think Andy Dalton won any playoff games, and he went to so many. I'm going to shock you here. I actually think I'd rather be Derek Carr because Derek Carr won, or he didn't win. Neither did Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton went a ton of time. Did he?
0
does
for
he have
4.
Over
Literally 0 for 4 in his playoff career.
Think about that.
Andy Dalton.
Think about that.
His last postseason game, 3 interceptions.
Okay, so there you go. And then the back end, well, not even, maybe the last half of your career, you're a backup.
Yeah.
I think Derek Carr. Derek Carr made the money.
Yeah.
He kind of goes out as a QB1.
Yes.
Where Dalton, I don't want to say he failed as a QB1, but bro, you go to that many playoffs, you can't get one win? Nah, I'd rather be Derek Carr, I think.
Ironic enough, Derek Carr's one playoff game played in lost to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, yeah, well, there you go. But you blame the Raiders. I don't know how Carr performed in that game, but
he did all right.
I imagine you blame the Raiders.
They're the same guy, like the same ceiling, like the ability is there.
Yes, those two are similar.
Andy Dalton had A.J. Green much of his career.
Yeah,
like he had really good talent around him.
Good point.
Cam Newton or Derek Carr?
Cam Newton. I mean, listen, the
9 seasons.
The sample size
is similar.
It is?
Well,
okay, I would think
Cam at his peak was shorter than Derek Carr, but when Cam was at his peak, I mean, that's one of the most dominant players we've ever seen play football, college, and NFL.
Another guy who didn't win, but the MVP, to your point, went to a Super Bowl, took his team to that Super Bowl. I'd much rather be Cam Newton.
Phil Simms, Derek Carr.
I mean, that's insulting to Phil Simms. I mean, my God, I get it. Phil Simms, much like Eli, didn't have the stats there, some elite quarterback in his time with the Giants. But like Eli, he is a Super Bowl champion.
Won the ring.
So
he's a game manager.
Yeah, let's put some respect on Phil Simms' name. Phil Simms should not be in the same conversation as no damn Derek Carr.
Last one, Mac Jones or Derek Carr?
Mac Jones, who? I'd rather be Derek Carr.
Okay.
You got the money.
Rather have him as my
I don't think
too.
Derek Carr's hated in Oakland or in Vegas. In New Orleans.
In New Orleans, yeah.
Mac Jones is hated around here. I'm not interested. I'd much rather be Derek Carr.
Here's 49ers offensive coordinator Clay Kubiak, really good play caller.
Yes, he is.
On Mac Jones. Quote, going back to college, we obviously studied Mac coming out. We thought very highly of him and his skill set as a thrower.
Okay.
Obviously, as a rookie, what he did in the NFL was impressive. Mac's a really good thrower, stands in the pocket, strong guy, really smart. And so he's got a lot of traits that we like for a starting quarterback.
Oh.
His career was kind of gone up and down a little, but the past couple of years, we saw the same things in Jacksonville that we loved about him as a college prospect. Didn't point out New England. That really excites us. He's doing a great job. I think Mac's capable of being a starter in this league. He's going to help us if he needs to.
That quote's not good for Purdy's pocketbook, is it?
Offensive coordinator's not going to come out and say, yeah, Mac's good. He's going to be a great backup for us. He's going to pour some confidence into Mac.
Over. I mean, it's true. Like, they were all over Mac going up to the draft.
Yeah, they thought about trading up for him.
If I'm Brock Purdy, I don't like hearing none of this.
If I'm Brock Purdy, I still want 30, 40 million.
That's what I'm saying. But they haven't paid him yet.
Nope.
So I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you talking about him like that? You're not talking about me like it's like a relationship. Like, wait, why are you talking about that person? You're in a relationship with moi. What is your problem? That's what I got from that quote. Yeah, I mean, you're talking all glowingly over Mac Jones. What about me? I'm Brock Purdy. I'm trying to get paid, baby.
I just think Mac Jones and starting quarterback in the same sentence will forever be one of the funniest things I'll ever read or hear. Was fine, Pro Bowl alternate, was okay. But that's it, was okay. For one season, really. Now, the situation in his sophomore and third year in the league was absolutely atrocious.
Atrocious.
I mean, he had literally the worst, no, not Bill O'Brien, but in his second season, which is massive, he had the worst offensive structure from a coaching standpoint I've ever seen. I mean, at that point, if it was just his dad calling the plays, maybe it would have been better off than Matt Patricia or Joe Judge. And that just absolutely fractured his confidence altogether. But also, we saw a guy that couldn't deal with adversity, and when Bill O'Brien did enter the fold again, wasn't given his say on his coaching staff because of brilliant Bill Belichick as well, was given a really tough go. But that's a guy that can't deal with adversity in game, can't deal with stuff on the fly, really inconsistent as a teammate as well. Mental makeup matters when it comes to a quarterback. Mac has zero of it.
McCorkle, we wish the best for you, brother. But around here, it's about Drake May, okay? Your old news, yesterday's paper. We're on to Drake.
Thank God number 10 in New England is Drake May.
Facts.
Thank God number 10 in New England
facts.
is Drake May.